stablecoin issuance.
Okay, Peter writes, should I be worried about Bear Stearns in terms of liquidity and get my money out of there? No, no, no.
Right, professional and wealthy investors are still buying crypto this year.
Withdraw 100% of the assets they have on Binance. We will not have an issue in any given day.
It's a good news, bad news scenario, right?
No and no.
Our very own Bitcoin baller, though, thinks there could be a generational buying opportunity coming for Bitcoin.
Finance, Greg. So everyone around the stock space and the finance space is aware of CNBC and what they are and what they do. But it is my opinion that too many people are listening to CNBC as the full truth and nothing but the truth. So I'm going to list off explanations as to why you shouldn't listen to them, especially if you're a retail investor. So, starting things off with their reliability. If you think watching CNBC will help you pick stocks that will do incredibly well, I've just got to say, then you've already lost. Take Tesla, for example. Tesla stock in 2019, I remember buying this, but at the same time, all over CNBC, they had interviewee after interviewee saying how, no, Tesla's a dead stock, you shouldn't buy it, you should short it, blah, 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 blah. There were so many shorts in the market, and all of these hedge funds thought Tesla was going to fail, it was going to go bankrupt. Granted, there was some sort of legitimacy behind this because the company had yet to turn a real profit, but they failed to realize the possibility and the ingenious of Elon Musk. Now, I'm not some massive Tesla fanboy, but I remember looking in 2019, looking at the vision that Elon had for the company and where the current stock price was, and I thought it was a perfect buying opportunity. And guess what? I bought it at around the $300 to $400 range. And this was before the stocks split happened in, 2020? So adjusted for the stock split, I bought it around $63 a share, which has turned out to be my most successful stock of yet in my entire investing career. But had I have listened to all the people on CNBC, all of the guests, there was no guest on CNBC that was advocating for people to buy Teslas and pro-Tesla. It was all just negative. And, it's people that follow the sheep like that don't do. You need to get ahead of the curve. You need to think, whatever CNBC says, do the opposite. Because that's where all the hype is. That's where all the normal people go to get their financial news. Because if you think listening to CNBC will get you anywhere, well then you're always going to be behind the ball. You need to get ahead of everyone else in order to make good returns. You need to see something that the rest of the market does not see. You need to ignore all of that noise that all of Wall Street is talking about and focus on what you think is going to do the best return for you. But this ties in with my next point, is the fact that they just are so wrong so often. All of these people, these hedge funds, they're looking for 8, 9, 10, 11%, maybe up to 20% if they're incredibly successful as a hedge fund, as private equity. It's crazy the fact that people listen and take advice from people who have big institutions and institutional investors and all kinds of stakeholders that are involved, and the people that are listening to them are normal retail investors who don't have any other stakeholders and have a lot less capital to worry about losing. Because these hedge funds, they've got loads and loads and loads of capital, and they've got to be really conservative with their portfolios. Whereas those of us who are retail investors, maybe some of us have more capital than others, but doesn't mean we have to stay in the same bubble and have the same portfolio as those with clients who are millionaires and billionaires. Okay, now my next point. Any breaking news that CNBC reports is going to already be written into the stock by the time that all retail investors are going to be able to take advantage of that. You might say, why is that? Why have they got this advantage? Well, they've got massive machines and they can use high frequency trading, which enables them to do mega quick speeds as soon as news comes to the market. And, you know, by that time the CNBC anchor has said it out of their mouth. It's already been added into the stock. And this video is not to bash CNBC. CNBC is great for people who are new into the whole world of finance and understanding key terms and like things to look out for when investing. But the individual people that are brought onto it, and even the hosts themselves, the anchors and whatnot, they shouldn't be really listened to as the holy grail of financial advice. Because think about it, what are they trying to do? Essentially, they're trying to predict the future of a certain company or industry, or even a country, right? And they can't actually do it. So in reality, their guess is just as good as yours. They may have a lot of smart people working for an institution, but that doesn't mean they're going to get everything right all the time. They may use financial modelling and all different types of complicated mathematical scenarios, I guess you could say, to help them eliminate certain likelihoods and probabilities of an outcome, but doesn't mean they can plan for it all the time. Okay, so to end this video right now, I've got one more complaint about CNBC that retail investors need to make themselves aware of, and whether they like it or not, CNBC will have their biases. And what do I mean by that? Well, take for example cryptocurrency. I remember when cryptocurrency was peaking and peaking and peaking, what were they doing? They were hammering cryptocurrencies all across the board, and all the guests were all pro crypto. And why was that? Well, because all their advertisers were all these different cryptocurrency type things, and they were just feeding into this relentless hype, which, in my opinion, once you see the level of hype that cryptocurrency had, you know it has to crash, because it cannot maintain that level of hype that it did. I mean, there are so many different biases that CNBC will have, but this was the most blatant in my opinion. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree with anything I said? What do you make of it? Anyway, don't forget to like the video.